Hi everyone, Antoinette here. Today I'm going to talk about 6 body language signals that are commonly misunderstood. And I'm doing this video for 2 reasons. First of all, so that you can have a better understanding of what might be behind some of these body language signals that you might have misinterpreted in the past. And then also to be aware that when you are exhibiting these body language signs, that people are probably misinterpreting you as well. The first one we commonly misunderstand is when people have a negative facial expression. It's so easy to look at someone who looks like they're irritated, bored, upset, disinterested, and to make the judgment that they really are. And true, they could be. However, usually there's a lot more going on that we don't know about. For some people, that is just their thinking expression. And maybe they're really interested in what you're saying. However, they get this expression on their face. And for some people, they get this expression whenever they're feeling uncomfortable. Maybe they're in a situation where they're walking into a room with a bunch of people that they don't know. And so they develop this same facial expression that looks like they really don't want to be there, when really it's just that they're not comfortable. And then for some people, that is just their resting facial expression. And it's called a variety of things, but that's just their facial expression whenever they are listening or whenever their face is at rest. Countless times I have made judgments about people, and I still have to be so intentional about it. I remember just last year, I was doing a keynote at a conference, and somebody right there on the front row had this facial expression, and I was conscious of it the whole time, thinking, this person is really not enjoying what I'm saying. Only afterwards for her to be one of the people that came up to me and said how much she enjoyed it. So the next time you're silently wondering, is someone unhappy or irritated or bored, to remind yourself that there could be a whole lot of other reasons why they have a negative facial expression. Okay, let's get on to number 2, which is the flip side. A lot of times people will ask me, this person smiled at me, this stranger smiled at me, does this mean that they like me? And a lot of times people are asking me this because they're wanting to know, is somebody actually interested in them? Here's the thing to remember. Smiles are a friendly gesture, and some people smile a lot at just about everybody. It is a pleasant facial expression, and a lot of people, whenever they see anybody, they give a smile. And if you want to know more about really trying to uncover the different smiles of people, I've got a video above and in the description below about the different types of smiles and what they mean. However, know that even if somebody gives you a genuine smile, which is called a Duchenne smile, and you'll find out about that in that video, it doesn't mean that they necessarily are interested in you romantically. Which leads me to the next commonly misunderstood facial expression, and that is the wink. The wink means so many different things in different cultures. So I'm talking about the wink in regards to the American culture. A lot of times people will think a wink means somebody is flirting with them, and that may be the case. However, a wink may also mean that they're trying to encourage you, or they're trying to just be friendly, or maybe there's an inside joke and they wink at you, letting you know that they want to be a part of that inside joke with you. So a wink can mean a variety of things. And some people wink for those different reasons. So don't make the assumption that there's always something romantic or flirtatious behind the wink. The fourth misunderstood body language signal is when people are crossing their arms. We tend to think that this is a defensive mechanism, that someone is defensive with you. And it's so misunderstood, and it's out there so much as don't cross your arms because it is closed body language. It's a negative body language sign. And once again, it can be. However, People can be crossing their arms for a variety of reasons. I cross my arms a lot when I'm cold. Some people cross their arms whenever they're self-conscious or they're not confident in a situation. So it has nothing to do with them feeling defensive or closed off to other people. It's just a protective mechanism for them to cross their arms close to their body. It's almost like a self-hug. And then lastly, researchers have shown that people can think more deeply and better make decisions when their arms are crossed. The reason why is because when we do cross movement of our body language, then we're activating the right and the left hemispheres from our brain. So you may notice that sometimes you ask somebody a question and maybe they lean back and they cross their arms and they're silent for a bit. It doesn't always mean that they're defensive. It could mean that they're just really thinking deeply about whatever it is that you've asked them. The next body language signal that people can misunderstand is breaking of eye contact. A lot of times we'll see, oh, this person broke eye contact. Obviously, they feel uncomfortable about whatever I said or I asked them, or they don't have much confidence. Breaking eye contact periodically is normal in conversations. You don't want to just stare at the person all the time without ever breaking eye contact. And let's go back to research. Researchers have also shown that when people break eye contact, they're able to think deeply as well because they're able to concentrate on what's being said or what's being asked rather than trying to come up with their answer or their decision while looking the other person in their eye. So it doesn't always mean they're uncomfortable, disinterested, or they lack self-confidence. I've got a video on how to break eye contact with confidence if you struggle with that. So be sure and check that out above and in the description below as well. Another misunderstood body language signal is when somebody starts fidgeting. When somebody starts maybe fidgeting with their hair or their face or their jewelry, fidgeting can be seen as the person is uncomfortable or insecure or doesn't like whatever you have asked them or said. However, sometimes it's not about us who's talking to them. Sometimes that person is fidgeting because maybe they have something going on that they're really worried about. Maybe they have something going on that is on their mind that has nothing to do with you, and that's the reason why they're fidgeting. They're not totally present in the conversation. They're thinking about something else that may have them uncomfortable or self-conscious. Now, is it going to be difficult for you to remember all of these things the next time that you're talking to someone and they exhibit one of these body language signs and you immediately jump to a conclusion? Like I said, I still do it too, but I have to be intentional on thinking I probably don't know the whole story. So rather than jumping to conclusions, let me just look for patterns with this person. Let me look for patterns such as, did the person change the subject in addition to exhibiting one of these body language signs? If so, maybe it is that they don't want to talk about whatever I asked them about. However, it's important to not jump to conclusions, and also it's important to be present in the conversation and not be so fixated on every person's little move that we're not really present with them. If you have enjoyed this video, I hope you'll share it and I hope you'll subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.